What if I told you that a single nuclear bomb dropped today could change everything? Imagine a city, maybe Los Angeles, New York, or even London, turning to ash in under 10 minutes. Could you survive? Would the world survive? Or is it already too late? In today's video, you'll discover exactly what would happen if a nuclear bomb exploded in modern times. And at the end, I'll reveal a terrifying weapon, far worse than the bomb, that, if built, could wipe out all life on Earth. But first, answer this in the comments. Do you believe the world will actually face a nuclear war in the coming years? Or is this just another Hollywood-level paranoia? Now, imagine waking up in a world where, in a split second, everything we know, everything we've built, just disappears. Maybe it sounds like something from a movie, but believe me, this threat is real, silent, constant, and far more real than you might think. How close are we to witnessing the greatest disaster ever caused by humanity itself? Are nuclear weapons truly as destructive as we've been told? Or could it all be an illusion, fueled by fear? Some experts claim that these weapons wouldn't be enough to destroy the planet, but others warn that yes, a single bomb could potentially end all life on Earth. So, what would really happen if a nuclear war started today? And more, could a nuclear bomb actually be used against the moon? Yeah, it may sound ridiculous, but believe it or not, that question has been seriously considered before. Get ready, because what you're about to hear might completely change the way you see the true power of nuclear weapons. And at the very end, a terrifying revelation about a weapon so dangerous you'll hope it never, ever gets built. You've probably heard that nuclear weapons are the most devastating things humans have ever created, and that's not an exaggeration. Right now, it's estimated that there are about 12,500 nuclear warheads spread around the world. Russia alone has about 590 of them. The United States? Around 5,244. But here's something important. Most of these warheads are either deactivated or stored. In reality, both the US and Russia have about 1,600 warheads each, ready for immediate use. And yes, that's more than enough to wipe out a huge part of the planet. Other countries also have nukes, but in much smaller numbers. China, the UK, and France, for example, don't even come close to the US or Russia. China specifically has about 500 operational warheads, according to recent US Department of Defense reports. And here's something that most people don't know. Even though these weapons sound like science fiction, their technology is way more terrifying than you can imagine. Most intercontinental ballistic missiles, the famous ICBMs, carry 6 to 8 nuclear warheads, each capable of wiping an entire city off the map. And we're not talking about just any bomb. These are warheads with an average yield of 400 kilotons, meaning 400,000 tons of TNT per explosion. Now imagine one missile carrying not one, but up to 8 of these bombs, each one targeting a different city, simultaneously, almost impossible to intercept. The thought alone is terrifying, but even with all that destructive power, they still look small compared to the biggest bomb humanity has ever created, the Tsar Bomba. Even the name sounds heavy, and it should. Developed by the Soviet Union, this bomb made everything else look like toys. Its power? An insane 57 megatons. That's 57 million tons of TNT. To give you an idea, that's over 3,800 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The explosion was so gigantic that the mushroom cloud rose over 60 kilometers high. Yes, it reached the stratosphere. The flash could be seen from over 1,000 kilometers away, and anyone standing within 100 kilometers would suffer third-degree burns just from the heat of the light. But ironically, the Tsar Bomba was never really practical as a weapon. It was so huge, so heavy, that a specially modified bomber was needed just to carry it. The bomb bay doors had to be removed just to fit it inside. Its weight? Nearly 27 tons. Its size? 8 meters long and 2 meters wide. A flying monster. And here's a terrifying detail almost nobody knows. The Tsar Bomba was actually designed to be even more powerful. It could have exploded with 100 megatons, but Soviet engineers chose to reduce its power. Why? Because if detonated at full capacity, even the plane that dropped it wouldn't have survived. To avoid that, they replaced uranium-238 with lead, which reduced the radioactive fallout. If they had used uranium, not only would the explosion have been larger, but it would have caused a nuclear contamination capable of affecting entire continents. And yet, despite how insane this bomb was, it wasn't really designed for combat. Its purpose? A show of power. In reality, it was way too big to be practical in any real war scenario. And here's a curious fact. When it comes to explosions, the effects are not linear. A 100 megaton bomb doesn't cause 10 times the destruction of a 10 megaton bomb. It's actually just a little bit more than double in terms of area destroyed, but it's 10 times heavier, making it completely useless for modern missiles or bombers. That's why today's nukes are smaller, lighter, faster, and way more efficient, and unfortunately, much harder to intercept. The threat today is even more silent and more sophisticated. Take Russia's RS-28 Samart, nicknamed Satan II. It can carry up to 15 independent nuclear warheads, each capable of hitting a different target even thousands of miles apart. Worse, they travel in hypersonic speeds with unpredictable trajectories, making them almost impossible to stop. The US, on the other hand, is developing the LGM-35A Sentinel, which will replace the old Minuteman III. Like the Samart, it carries multiple warheads, along with advanced stealth technologies to evade tracking and interception. And here's the brutal question. If a nuclear war like this actually started, would anyone survive? The harsh truth? Very few. In the best-case scenario, the first detonations would create electromagnetic pulses strong enough to wipe out entire power grids, satellites, communications, and any unprotected equipment. The next waves of missiles would destroy military bases, major cities, and every key infrastructure point. And even those who survived the initial explosions would face something far worse: nuclear winter. Massive clouds of black, toxic smoke from burning cities would rise into the stratosphere, blocking sunlight, dropping Earth's temperatures by up to 20 degrees Celsius. Crops would fail, global famine would spread, civilization as we know it would collapse. But if you think that's enough to destroy Earth itself, think again. The Earth has survived things that make even the biggest bomb look like a firecracker. Take the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. It was about 15 kilometers wide, traveling at 72,000 kilometers per hour. When it hit the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, it released energy equivalent to a mind-boggling 72 million megatons. That's 2 million tsar bombas going off at once. It created a crater 150 kilometers wide, threw so much debris into the atmosphere that the planet was plunged into darkness for months. Temperatures plummeted, food chains collapsed, and almost every living thing was wiped out. And yet the planet kept spinning. It survived. It always does. So no, even if we detonated every nuclear bomb on Earth, we wouldn't destroy the planet. The Earth survives. We probably don't. And if you're thinking, okay, but what about the moon? Could we destroy it with nukes? The answer is no. The moon is massive. Its diameter is 3,475 kilometers, about a quarter the size of Earth. Throwing all the nukes on it would be like throwing pebbles at a skyscraper. Sure, we might add a few new craters, but that's about it. But there is one terrifying exception. A weapon so sinister, so horrifying, it doesn't need to physically destroy the planet. It would simply make it uninhabitable. We're talking about the dreaded Cobalt-60. After the explosion, it would release radiation, lethal for decades. Anywhere the fallout lands, nothing survives. Its theoretical creator, physicist Leo Szilard, never wanted it to be built. In fact, he designed it as a warning to humanity. If we wanted, we could wipe out all life on Earth. And he was right. Just one cobalt bomb, designed for maximum fallout, could generate a radioactive cloud circling the entire planet, slowly killing everything that breathes. If a Tsar Bomba was wrapped in cobalt, the radiation wouldn't just wipe out a continent, it would poison the entire world. Not from the explosion, but from the contamination that would last for decades. In the end, maybe the biggest threat isn't how big the bombs are, but how big human stupidity can be. Now let me ask you, do you think one day someone will actually press that button? Or will humanity finally understand that, in a nuclear war, there are no winners? I really want to know what you think. Drop your opinion down in the comments. Do you believe humanity will choose destruction or survival? If this video made your heart race or made you question everything, that means it did its job. The goal of Nexora is exactly this: to bring you real, strange, bizarre, or dangerously possible stories that make you truly think. So tell me, what shocked you the most in this video? And of course, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone who still thinks the world is totally under control. Want to hear another story that will blow your mind? Subscribe to Nexora and be the first to know. Thanks for watching.